So Ubisoft, it's not a good year for them. Not a very good year for them at all. So exclusive. Ooh. Ubisoft financial turmoil points toward imminent bankruptcy in 2025. Here's my shocked face. You see, this is what happens when you don't make games that sell well. You don't make money, and you end up having, 100 layoffs here, 200 layoffs there, and suddenly you might be facing bankruptcy. Maybe you should make good games instead of worrying about diversity, equity, inclusion, which is always piss poor written and never genuine whatsoever. Instead of worrying about that, worry about making good games. Maybe you might make some money, and maybe then you won't go bankrupt. But who cares, honestly, at this point? Every gaming company could go out of business right now, and I don't think anyone would really give a crap. The only one who would still be around would be like Nintendo, because they get it. Despite some of their business practices, especially like with fan-made stuff, I say this all the time. Look at all the IPs they've had for like 30, 40 years. Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Star Fox, Donkey Kong, Kirby. And why? Because they're just fun. But, who cares anymore, really? Ubisoft is not doing well. This is likely the sentiment shared by its executives as they grapple the fall of a once incredible gaming giant, which it was. But according to earning reports, the company could face bankruptcy in 2025 if nothing changes. Well, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. It's just they can't help themselves. They've had plenty of chances to fix this because this sort of downfall doesn't happen overnight. It's been steadily going down. And unless they're not paying attention to their own numbers and financial reports and all that, surely, don't call me Shirley. Surely someone must have seen that. Okay, it's like we're up here, and now suddenly we're all the way like down here. Clearly there's something happening. Nope. This is a company that brought us the fantastical Prince of Persia franchise, which is a great franchise, the gritty stealth rival to Metal Gear, Splinter Cell, and revolutionary Assassin's Creed series, and acclaimed titles like Ghost Recon, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. Yeah, all amazing series. And look what happened. Look what's happened. Yet now, it's but a shadow of its former glory. I say this all the time. These companies that have been around 20, 30 years, Ubisoft, EA, Activision, all these great companies, it's just even Square, Square Enix, back when they were like Squaresoft. You guys, that's how old we are. Back when they were Squaresoft, Square Enix, even them. So it's modern games. That's the kind of the root cause of all this. Modern games. This public outcry for diversity in games, and then these game companies make those diverse games, and then no one buys them because maybe the vocal minority on Twitter shouldn't be trusted as a reliable source. People whining on Twitter about freaking diversity is not reality. Ubisoft appears to have overindulged in the ideological fervor of DEI, alienating its core fan base in the process, and that's a costly mistake. Yeah. When you have 95% of gamers saying that they don't give a crap about DEI, catering to that 5% is not going to make you any money. It's not. And then you have people coming out just to reinforce it, this making sure that no one else buys the game except for that 5% by saying, oh, well, it's not made for you. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Oh, you're just a bunch of folks isms. You're a bunch of incels. You're this, you're that. It's like you're supposed to be trying to sell the game, not push people away from it. And then when it fails, they sit there, shocked Pikachu face, like, how did this happen? The financial abyss. Ubisoft mounting debt and declining revenue. Um, isn't this like X Defiant same thing? Got like shut down or is getting shut down soon? The real problem Ubisoft faces lies in its numbers, more specifically, its finances. Things have gotten so bad for Ubisoft that Ubisoft might go bankrupt in 2025. According to publicly available financial reports, Ubisoft is not only has an immense debt burden, but it's also increased its debt significantly compared to last year. As of its latest financial report, Ubisoft's non-IFRS net debt stands at 1.1 billion euros, which with an IFRS net debt of 1.2. Wow, that's a sharp increase of 880.8 million euros the previous year. This is a serious concern because it indicates the Ubisoft isn't generating enough revenue to offset its borrowing. Coupled with a declining cash reserve, now at 932 million euros, the company is in a precarious financial position. Adding to the woes, Ubisoft's stock performance has been abysmal. Its stock has seen a significant decline, falling by nearly 80% in value compared to the 5 years ago. Currently trading at 12. Oh, oh, that's not good. That's not good. So we'll just highball and just say 13 euros for per share. It's one of the lowest points in Ubisoft's history, reflecting waning investor confidence in the company's ability to recover. Yeah, I'm on top of the world, hey. I'm on top of the world, hey. Now I'm all the way down here. The struggles extend beyond financial statements. The latest game, Star Wars Outlaws, has reportedly sold well below expectations. Pre-orders were rumored to be abysmal, and Ubisoft has yet to release official sales figures, often a sign of that numbers are poor. Yeah, because if they were doing well, they'd be like, "Oh my God, look at this game! Look at the billions of copies that it's sold." But they're like, yeah, well, the numbers right now aren't what's important. What's important is that we created something that is resonating positively with the players. Financial analysis estimates that the game has a. Oh, yeah. What was it? I think it was like less like a million copies sold. Again, if your numbers are good, you're gonna want people to know. The only time you don't tell numbers, and say what the numbers are, is when you're trying to hide them. But in a surprising move, Ubisoft decided to release Outlaws on Steam shortly after launch. Rather than keeping exclusives to their Ubisoft Connect platform, a strategy that didn't use for their previous blockbuster, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This decision suggests a desperate attempt to recoup sales and improve cash flow. I was going to say Flashco. It's a Flashco. To provide some context, within the investment world, companies are assigned credit ratings to measure their financial health and reliability. These ratings fall in two main categories. 1. Investment grade ratings indicate strong financial stability and low risk. 2. Junk ratings indicate high risk and greater likelihood of default or bankruptcy. I think 2 is what they're at this point. Number 1, obviously, indicates strong financial stability, meaning they have a nice flow of cash coming in, and there's low risk of, investing into this and having your money go to waste. So that's what you want. You want to invest and buy shares of a company that is financially stable, and not just because, oh, they've got money coming in from like one game. No, it's just after another, where it's just basically a money making machine, and it's a steady flow. It's like a nice stream of money. It just keeps flowing, and there's no end of it in sight. And then investors look at that and be like, well, I think we can invest in this. I mean, they don't seem to be going downhill anytime soon. They're making plenty of money, so we can invest in this. But then you have places like Ubisoft now where they're not making that money, so investors are like, you guys were good. You guys were good. You guys are very, very good. You were very good a few years ago. What happened? But credit ratings range from AAA, the highest rating indicating prime financial health, to CC, imminent bankruptcy. CC, crowd control. That's what they need to do right now. They need some crowd control. Anything rated triple B or higher is considered investment grade, while anything below this threshold is classified as junk. It's classified as poopy. These ratings provide a quick and standardized way for investors to gauge the risk of investing in a company. They're often determined by credit agencies like Moody's, Fitch, or S&P Global. However, in many in cases where a formal rating isn't available, analysts will rely on publicly available data to estimate a company's standing. Based on Ubisoft's financials, its growing debt, poor stock performance, and declining liquidity, it is clear that the company falls into the junk rating category. Using available data and analysis, we estimate Ubisoft's credit rating to be a B minus. That's kind of generous, actually. Based on a short summary analysis of its debt, financial reports, and overall market performance, the speculative grade reflects substantial financial risk and indicates that Ubisoft is highly vulnerable to adverse conditions in the gaming market. However, a deeper dive into its financial report, a more comprehensive analysis, reveals an even bleaker picture. This includes not only their poor stock performance, ongoing rumors of a buyout, which with Tencent, but they're still trying to make it to where they're still in charge of Assassin's Creed studio, the studios with Assassin's Creed, which, no, the whole, if it sells, the whole kit and caboodle, the Guillemot family, it's like, no, we'll sell, but as long as we're in charge of Assassin's Creed, no, we're not letting you drive Assassin's Creed into the ground by staying on. Assassin's Creed Shadows is already going to be driven into the ground, and then you got Hex, apparently is the gayest Assassin's Creed so far. So yeah, people, no. But yeah. Risk and performance, ongoing rumors of buyout, and a brief yet concerning string among Ubisoft employees in Italy. And also, all the game producers over in Italy, when they get mad, they're all like this. They're all shouting in the room. Hey. It's funny because I'm Italian, so I can do that. And I know this firsthand because, holidays with Italians are all sitting at the table, and you see a lot of this going on. Hey, we got a wise guy over here. I'd like to see like this huge table, like 20, 30 people, and they're all doing this because they're all fighting with each other, arguing back and forth. They're all like, a nice bottle of wine in the middle of the table because Italians love their wine. Um, just 30 people holding this. I'm talking here. Um, See, just like that. Even though he's not Italian. Uh, Based on our calculations, Ubisoft's 18, almost 19. Nice. Nice. For the love. Ah, sweet Lucifer. 18,666 employees cost the company an estimate of about 746 million euros annually, a figure far too high for a company struggling with mounting debt and declining revenue. This makes the workforce size unsustainable under current financial conditions. That's why they keep laying people off. Someone's on the roof. I don't know. It probably actually might be Yukina. She's the only one who runs, unless it's, I don't know. If it was Zelda and Midna, I'd be hearing. But I don't hear that, so I think it might be Yukina on the roof, running around. Yukina. Yes, for people who are savvy to the name, even though it's Yukina is a common name in some anime, it was in fact Yu Yu Hakusho, Yukina, that I named her after, just so I can go outside and Yukina. Oh, Kuwabara, we love you. Adding to this, the cancellation of its multiplayer X. Yeah, I was right. X Defiant and the costly development of Skull and Bones have significantly impacted the bottom line. Skull and Bones alone has reportedly cost between 650 to 850 million over a decade of development. An investment the company will almost certainly never recover due to the game's poor reception. These failures highlight major inefficiencies in Ubisoft's management of resources and production cycles. Additionally, there are rumors that Ubisoft has been forced to hire external contractors to assist in game development because its internal workforce has reportedly overstaffed with inexperienced employees. Again, shock Pikachu face. Many of these employees have never worked on a game before, which could explain the poorly executed gameplay seen in recent releases. This imbalance has contributed to rising product costs, production costs, and increasingly stretched budgets. That's a stretched budget right here. Financial strain is further compounded by the unconfirmed but widely reported poor sales of Star Wars Outlaws. While Ubisoft has not disclosed official sales figures, analysts suggest that pre-orders were dismal and that the game has fallen far short of expectations. As a result of these mounting issues, Ubisoft's estimated credit rating has dropped from B- to triple C. Guys are doing good. To this perspective, and put this in perspective, a triple C rating indicates that bankruptcy is imminent unless drastic and positive changes occur. This rating is just 2 steps above double C, which signifies an almost certain default. Unfortunately, the outlook of Ubisoft does not inspire confidence. Even Assassin's Creed Shadows, one of its flagship franchise's titles, has faced significant backlash from fans even since its announcement. Yeah. Despite Ubisoft delaying the game's release to make improvements, it is unlikely the Shadows will generate the revenue needed to pull the company out of its mounting debt. Instead, it's seems more likely to become the killing blow that sinks Ubisoft into bankruptcy. Ubisoft's endgame: bankruptcy or salvation. Will they pull themselves back from bankruptcy? Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. It's It is clear that Ubisoft is not in a dire situation that could wait. It is clear that Ubisoft is in a dire. Okay, I thought it's for some reason I was looking at it, it's like it isn't. It's like, what are you saying it isn't for? Haven't we just been talking about that it is this entire time? Is in a dire situation that could lead to bankruptcy. Once an acclaimed and beloved gaming company, as it has now been reduced to a debt-heavy, ideology-driven corporate shadow of its former self. Some may argue at that a 10-cent buyout, as the rumors would suggest, could be Ubisoft's saving grace. Probably not, but I think Tencent has what other games that they've produced or whatever. Or, I can't remember if Tencent is like an actual like a company, or it's just kind of like a you know. But I remember I know people were like, yeah, actually, hang on. Yeah, they're an investment company, and I know I was hearing them from like we got Riot Games, um, Turtle Rock Studios, Epic Games, Ubisoft right there, Paradox Interactive. So yeah, they kind of have their investment, and they just kind of because I think I was talking about them not just with uh Ubisoft, but I think I mentioned them with like Riot or Epic Games or something before. But most of the time, whenever they're brought up, it's with Ubisoft and all that. Um, However, the reality is that Tencent would likely be smarter to let Ubisoft declare bankruptcy rather than take on a massive debt. Instead, Tencent could acquire Ubisoft's valuable IPs in the inevitable auction that would and it would probably be sold at a more of a discount price, essentially, because it's like everything's got to go liquidation, everything 95% off. Buy it now before the end of January. After it's gone forever, so don't miss your chance, or something. I don't know. I don't know. After all, Tencent is interested in Ubisoft's IPs, not its employees or corporate culture. If such a fate were to come to pass, it would be a sad and pathetic end for yeah, yeah. You can say that again. Okay, I will. It would be a sad and pathetic end for Ubisoft, a company that has once stood at the pinnacle of gaming industry collapsing into bankruptcy, and yet all signs point to 2025 as the year that Ubisoft might take its final breath, collapsing into the shadows in what seems to be a last desperate adventure to survive. I think most people would say at the end, this, you get what you fucking deserve. This is what happens when you don't make good games, where you focus on the message rather than just making games that are good. Exhibit A. And actually, not just them, but other game companies, even like smaller gay companies, game companies that focus on the same thing. Some of them haven't even gone anywhere because they had to go, they went bankrupt and they had to lay off all employees and this and that because the message was more important to them than just making a good game. So it's sad to see that Ubisoft might be going out of, filing bankruptcy soon, but they did it to themselves. We've been telling you guys at Ubisoft and all these other people how you can make money. It's just, nope. We get called phobes and isms. We're telling you that it's not the diversity that everyone's having a problem with. It's the fact that these characters who you are putting in the game to be diverse are poorly written, but no one wants to listen. They're like, no, that's a straw man argument. Why don't you just admit that you're just a phobist? No, you're clearly not listening to us. Phobes and isms would say, we don't want this in our games at all. But we're not saying that. We're saying if you're going to have it well written. Have it with not so boring characters with a good story. But people are rereads and they don't like listening. Instead, they just look for a reason to just call you a phobus and ism. So because those people aren't interested in listening to you, they're not interested. Because if they were, they would hear what you're saying and realize, oh, okay, yeah, they're not really calling for no diversity at all. And I agree, these characters are poorly written, but no, nope, can't happen. Instead, they've got a big corporation. So whatever, it'll be a shame, but to get what you deserve. This is what happens when you focus on the message and telling people if you don't like it, don't play it, and coming out and attacking gamers, and this is what you get. Yeah, you're at a point where you have to file for bankruptcy. So, good job, Ubisoft. Good job. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.